Emma Carter had always been good at sketching. When she was a child, she would sit by the window of her apartment drawing the outline of clouds. She imagined them as kingdoms. But at 17, her world shrank to a single obsession. Her board exams. Physics, chemistry, math. The subjects she once enjoyed now loomed over her like dark towers. The exams were 6 weeks away. She felt like a soldier preparing for a battle with no armor. Her friends posted motivational quotes. Emma knew hashtags could not save her. She needed something different. Not another revision timetable. A revolution. One evening, as the city's power flickered during load shedding, she pulled out her sketchpad. Without realizing it, she began to draw a huge circular room with dozens of doors. Inside each door, she imagined a topic she needed to learn. When she looked at the sketch again, she whispered, "What if my brain could be a building?" In that moment, Emma invented something she would later call the Memory Palace 2.0, an artistic way of storing exam information in a visual world of her own making. Build a visual memory palace of your syllabus. Draw rooms. Link them with topics. Walk through them mentally. The next day, Emma treated her brain like an architect treats a blueprint. She took each subject and assigned it a wing in her imaginary building. Physics occupied the west wing. High ceilings. Marble floors. Chemistry became a sparkling laboratory with test tubes and glowing neon. Math lived in a futuristic glass tower where formulas floated like holograms. Every time she learned a new concept, she placed an object in that room. For Newton's third law, she imagined two golden statues pushing against each other. For the periodic table, she created a corridor lined with colored doors. Each one opened to an element story. This was not just daydreaming. It was active recall and visualization. When she closed her eyes, she could walk through the palace and see the information. Combine artistic visualization with active recall. Do not just read notes. See them in a creative world. Emma also discovered a timing trick. Instead of revising everything in long, exhausting marathons, she applied what she called the rule of 3. She would preview the topic quickly, study it deeply once, revisit it briefly within 24 hours. This created a memory echo that cemented the material. She sketched a triangle at the corner of each note as a reminder. Space your study into 3 touch points. Preview, study, revisit. Lock information in long-term memory. While most of her classmates played random lo-fi beats, Emma composed her own soundtracks. Physics got an epic orchestral theme. Chemistry got quiet ambient tones. Math got rhythmic clicks. Whenever she sat down to study, she played the same soundtrack. Soon her brain linked the music to the material. When she heard the math clicks, formulas appeared in her mind's eye automatically. Use consistent background sounds to anchor subjects. Later, playing the same music can cue recall. Despite her innovations, Emma still faced panic. 3 weeks before exams, she blanked on a practice test and scored terribly. She almost gave up. That night, she called her cousin Alex. He studied cognitive science. He told her, "You are doing something powerful, but you are forgetting rehearsal under exam conditions. Build a lab." The next morning, Emma transformed her small study corner into a mock exam hall. She placed an old clock on the wall, printed practice papers, set a timer. Every evening, she sat an exam under strict conditions. At first, she hated it. Gradually, her brain stopped seeing tests as threats. It started seeing them as performances. Her anxiety dropped. Practice under exam conditions. Same timing. Same silence. Same posture. Reduce panic on the real day. Emma also created breathing corners in her memory palace. Whenever she got stuck on a problem, she imagined stepping into a quiet garden inside her brain. She inhaled for 4 counts, held for 4, exhaled for 4. This calmed her. It sharpened her recall. Her stress hormones lowered, making it easier to retrieve facts. Use mindful breathing between study sessions to reset your brain's focus. A week later, Emma tried something new, teaching her walls. She would stand up and explain a topic as if her bedroom posters were students. She even drew smiley faces on sticky notes to give herself an audience. Speaking aloud forced her to organize information. Any weak spots became obvious immediately. Teach out loud, even to an empty room. Find gaps in your understanding. For revision, Emma created what she called the red pen ritual. She printed out past papers. Using a red pen, she annotated every mistake she had made previously. Seeing the corrections in vivid color gave her brain a danger signal. Do not repeat this error. Mark mistakes vividly to train your brain to avoid them under pressure. Emma also realized her body was part of the system. She created a brain fuel routine. Nuts, dark chocolate, water every hour, a 2-minute stretch every 30 minutes. She treated study like an athletic performance. Feed and move your body. Hydration, light exercise. Healthy snacks improve recall and endurance. By the time exam week arrived, Emma's memory palace had become a full-fledged city in her mind. She could walk through corridors of physics, cross bridges of chemistry, climb towers of math. Her playlists acted like magical keys. They opened doors to concepts instantly. On the first morning, while other students frantically flipped notes, Emma closed her eyes. She walked to the west wing of her palace. Newton's laws were there, glowing like neon signs. She breathed in her imaginary garden. She opened her eyes calm and ready. On exam day, mentally revisit your visualization system instead of cramming. Emma aced her exams. That was expected. What was not expected was what happened next. Her Memory Palace 2.0 became famous in her school. Teachers invited her to present it. She realized she had stumbled on a life skill, designing mental worlds to master anything. She used the same technique to learn a new language, even to prepare for job interviews. Study systems outlast exams. Build habits you can use lifelong. At her graduation ceremony, Emma summarized her journey into 10 golden rules printed on a small card for juniors. Visualize your syllabus as a building or map. Active recall beats passive reading. Rule of 3. Preview. Study. Revisit. Soundtrack hack. Link music to memory. Simulate exams at home. Mindful micro breaks keep focus high. Teach aloud to find weak points. Mark mistakes in red to avoid repeating them. Fuel your brain with nutrition and movement. Enter your memory world on exam day calm and prepared. These tips were embedded in her story but also stand alone. Years later, Emma stood at the edge of her university campus, sketchpad still in hand. She smiled, remembering the night of the blackout when she first drew that circular room. The city below buzzed. Inside her, a quiet palace of knowledge still stood. She had built it brick by brick, concept by concept, and she knew anyone could do the same. All it took was imagination, discipline, the courage to treat studying not as punishment but as an act of design.